Hi all you wonderful, fantastic, beautiful brothers and sisters. Yeah, this is a little video about, I think, moving into this little series I'm going to make, or God wants to make through me, about self-care and about really coming back to living in a loving, caring relationship to actually just to ourselves. So we'll be talking about different things, I think very many beautiful things. So to start off saying, I've just been on one of my long drives in the car and went through some really heavy traffic near the big cities in the morning. It's just full of cars. There are just so many cars. And it just makes you think, this is not good, this can't go on. And if you get grabbed by your mind, you sort of go, oh my God, this is just, this is terrible, because it's just too much pollution, too much, hectic activity. And but the heart, when I listen to my heart, it says it's all as well. And of course we can't keep living like that. It's not gonna keep going, for sure. I just feel that deep in myself, in my being, that there's going to be many changes, and one of them is this, that we're just not going to get up into a car every morning and drive off on a long trip, millions of us on the earth. It's just not going to be like that in the future. So, and where we are right now, you and I and each person on the planet who wishes to start to change, we can just start the process of creating the new world right now, right here where we are. And that's what I feel very strongly, what the heart is saying, or God is saying in us, that just start where you are, right here where you are. And I'm here, and I'm supporting you, and the whole feeling you have that this is not good, this is not healthy, is just your soul, is really me, and your soul speaking to you and guiding you to go on a new path, or really find your new path that is all about well-being, about living in harmony with yourself, with the earth, with life around you. It's all about joy, it's all about peace, it's all about goodness. And I'm here with you, and we're going to do this together, and so just take it step by step by step, calm and relaxed, to just really relax in this, what can seem like a very horrible situation that the earth is in. When the mind, we get grasped by the mind, we can get very upset and just more or less give up, because it feels so bad. But the heart is saying, come to me, and all is well. And we are moving in a new direction, and come along with me, the heart saying. So that's what I want to say to you, and that's what I feel very much I wish to do with these videos, is to tell you that we're all together in this, and those of us who wish to change, wish to help the world heal, we can all hold hands. So I don't wish to be, and I am not a guru or a master in any way. I'm just a fellow being. And I just feel this is my job on the earth at the moment, to do these videos, apart from other things, because it just feels really wonderful. And as I've said many times before, just sort of to see it all, the whole thing of creation and God, and where's God, and where are we, and all this. I'll just repeat this that I've said sometimes before. That before there was anything physical, it was all spiritual matter, and it was all God's, just God's presence in this big, what can you say? There was non-physical world. And then God wished to be, that's just how I see it, it might be wrong, but I'll just tell you how I see it. And God wished to come into physical form, so he just went, phew, and all this life was created. And so God is actually in us, like He is everywhere in everything else. So it's very, very hard to understand, but we are God in physical form. And the reason why we often feel that we are not God, because we're so stressed and unhappy, is just because that there's an empty space that you can go into where God is not very present. So when we return to our center, we can feel, oh, that's right, there's this beautiful peace and wisdom and goodness, a really, really good feeling inside me. And that's coming back to being in your God space, or in your very core. When you go into your very core, that's just where God is. And so you can say that all of creation, the whole universe is like one human body. And that's really what is, I think, a very helpful thing to remember when we're going into this self-care, self-healing, self-nurturing process, this journey that we're going to embark on together, is to remind ourselves that our body is actually just a little image of the whole. So whatever we do to ourselves, we're doing to the world. It's really hard to understand. You can't understand it. But it is really, really helpful, I feel. So if we say we are a little image of the whole, God came from inside our hearts and went and created this body that is the whole universe. And you can say every human being is like a finger on the body. So with these millions or billions of people and all these fingers on this body. So this is me, this is you, this is another person, and so on. So here I am, and here you are. And what's happening now, now that we're all awakening, is that we realize that we are God, that we are this body. We're all a part of this body. And so we can look at each other and say, whoa, my goodness. I thought I was all alone. I thought life was meant to be a struggle. I thought we were just trying to make it through our life and just suffer a whole lot. But now I can see that I'm actually a very beautiful, holy being. And I'm here to live in harmony with myself and everything else. So with these two fingers looking at each other and saying, wow, here we are, and we can move together into more and more into this core, this God space, this loving presence that God is in us. So we become more and more God-like consciously. So that's us, as I see it. So, and I feel it very much when we're communicating with each other on these comments. I feel that we are holding hands and supporting each other in this beautiful, beautiful process that we're in. So it's very, very wonderful. Yeah, so when we start, but just this is like a little introduction, some things that have come to me. You know, you have your life and I have my life, and for each human being there is an enormous amount of decisions that need to be taken, and every morning we wake up we have so many things to think about, and as I see it, we can sort of go two ways. But what most people do, and what many of us have been doing, is that you wake up and think, oh my God, you know, what am I going to wear, what am I going to eat, what am I going to do, what am I going to say, what about this problem I have, how am I going to solve this? And by the time you've nearly not even out of bed yet, you have this enormous amount of activity and things you have to make decisions about. And by the time you're dressed and maybe off to work or starting your day, you're just filled with all these things that you feel you need to think about and take very seriously. And what happens every morning, as Eckhart Tolle says many times, we actually need to what is it he say? Awaken every moment, because we keep getting lost, and that's what happens when we have all this busyness in our mind. We lose connection to ourselves, and we're actually in a state without anyone being able to see it. We're just moving around doing our thing, but the inner state is really what affects everything. And when our inner state is full of this, we are in this busy state, and really our mind has taken over. Yes, we have lost connection to our core, so we're really not here. We're this busy person who's completely indulged in all these outer things. And when we talk about self-love and self-care, it's really coming into realizing that when you're in that state of busyness and hectic activity, you're in a non-loving state towards yourself, because you've lost yourself. Just shut the window. So in a way, you can say, because you're not connected to yourself, you're actually, in a way you can say you've destroyed yourself, or you are destroying yourself. You're not allowing yourself, your own inner, peaceful, beautiful core, to shine through all that activity. You just left it behind in bed, or it's just because you've just forgotten it, because there was so much you had to think of, that you just lost it. And that's what's been going on the last many hundreds of years on Earth, or maybe thousands of years, and that's what the state of most people still is, that we are in we approach our lives every morning, every moment, by stepping out of ourselves. And of course, when we're there, we're stressed, we're uneasy, and all the processes of the body do not work very well, because we're not in our bodies really. So our bodies just sort of hang on and just move along with us as the best they can, and they serve us the best they can. But it's a very respectless way of being. And we don't do it because we're bad people. We do it because that's what we've learned from when we were children. Okay, get up, get on, do your thing, pull yourself together. Come on, we have to hurry, we're off, what are you doing with your life? Come on, get something going. All this whole way of approaching life is just something we've learned, and we think that's the right way to go. So what we've been called to now, and really what all the religious teachings have all been about the last few thousand years, is to stop that way of being. It's to simply step out with your consciousness, your inner presence, to realize, oh my goodness, and just step out of it and step into your core. And that's really, as I see it, what Jesus was all about. That's what he means by being saved. You save yourself from hell, the hell that you were in just a moment ago. You step into yourself, your own presence. And there's some places in the Bible that I'd like to go into when we go into this series. So when we can see this, that, okay, I need to approach my life the moment I wake up in the morning, to realize I'm not going to go that way anymore. I'm going to change. And you might actually get just as many things done during the day, but you shift your inner focus. And you decide with yourself, I'm not going to lose myself today. I might do it many times, but if I do, I'm going to go back to my core, so that my soul, my inner being, my God presence is always here. I keep monitoring myself, so that when I get out of my bed, I'm here. And I know there's many things I have to do, but I make sure to keep being present within myself. And that is really the act of self-love. It comes right down to that, to choose to be you consciously. And it's to love, that is to allow yourself to be present during your day and in your activities. So it's like inviting this king or this queen into your life, or saying, you will be the center of my life. And from here we do our things. And when you do that, you feel peace immediately. And that's how you can start changing the world right now, just by changing that, by making that shift. And all the energy that you're going to need during the day to do your things, and both the energy to do things, but also the ability to focus and to look wisely at what's the right thing to do, to prioritize. All the energy is going to come from that place. Whereas before it came from some hectic, hurry up, thing. It was mind controlled. And the mind has no wisdom in it. It's a great tool to get things done. But without the heart, it can actually be very destructive. So we want to live our life. We want to do things. We want to wear some nice clothes. We want to be clean, as we feel is clean. We want to have some nice food. We want to do our job, whatever it is, and have good relationships. And all these things we still want to do. But we change our starting point. We become anchored. Where before there was no anchor, now we have our anchor. And that's where everything starts. That's where you're saved, where your life changes completely. And the beautiful thing is now you don't have to think so much anymore, because you've tapped into the to the wellspring of wisdom, the wellspring of life inside you. And that will take you forward. So it's just, I love this. I just love talking about this. I can't get enough of it. It's so beautiful. And the fact that you feel the peace immediately when you step into your core and stay there. You breathe deeper, you feel relaxed, you feel peaceful, and you feel good. When you're in the hectic state, you don't feel very good about yourself, and you don't feel very alive. You feel like you're rushing yourself all the time. You can't do things fast enough. Or you're very maybe depressed or very slow. You can be the other also, just really slow, because you just feel you've got no energy and you're just trying to get things done. So there's all sorts of different ways to be in the bad state. So we'll be doing things where our approach always is coming from in this place. So step by step, starting to, as I said, this is the foundation for all self-care and all healing. It's to become present in our God, in our core, in our divine core. And then you can do things with your life that are very self-caring and where you really express your self-love and self-respect. And so what we're doing when we do this is, because we are a little image of the whole, we're healing the earth. By going back and healing ourselves, we heal the whole. If every human being does this, we don't have to bother about how many is going to do this. We can just start with ourselves. Each person who does this is creating waves, the most powerful waves of healing, all through the earth. So we're doing the most powerful thing we can do for ourselves and the whole. So it just makes you, it humbles you, because you become so peaceful and so quiet. It humbles you. And it also makes you feel you're magnificent, because you are so endlessly powerful. Okay, so I look forward to this. I don't know how it's going to be, this series, but I just know it's going to come. So we'll see what God wants us to do. Okay, so take care, my friend, and I'll see you soon.